Hello and welcome to crochet class getting started. So these are going to be the basic stitches that you'll run across, and we'll go over them real quick. So this is the most common way you'll see a slip stitch. This is the universal abbreviations for slip stitch, and this is the symbol if you're using a symbol diagram. And you'll use a slip stitch to either join, or when you finish a row and when you begin a new row but you need to move over, you'll slip stitch and then come up and begin your new row. And then a chain stitch. This is the universal abbreviations for chain stitch and the symbol for chain stitch, and this is what it looks like. This is US single crochet, UK double crochet, and these are the common symbols. And this is what it looks like. This is the US half double crochet, the UK half treble crochet, and this is the symbol. This is what it looks like, and I will give you a close-up of these stitches in just a second. This is the US double crochet, UK treble crochet, and the symbol. Now I am right-handed, so this is my normal crochet. This is my left-handed example, and we'll go over why I did this in a moment. This is the same stitch. And then this is US treble crochet, UK double treble crochet, and the symbol. Now in my videos, because I'm here in the US, I will be referencing the US terms, but you can always come back to this video to correspond for the UK terms or the symbols. I will kind of try to, here in crochet class, for beginners, I will try to reference both just to try to make it a bit easier for you. So this is a slip stitch right here, used to join. And slip stitches right here, used to move. Then chain stitches, single crochets, half double crochets, single US, double UK, half double US, half treble UK, double US, both of these are double, treble UK, treble US, double treble UK. Okay. Now there's a couple different ways that you can hold your hook. The most common way is the knife hold, or the pencil hold, either like this or like this. I personally, because of my work and what I do, obviously I'm a groomer, hence my screen name, it's just easier for me to hold in a knife hold. It's a little bit easier for me just because of what I do. Gives me a little bit more of a relaxed hold. So I'm able to move my hook a little bit more easily in a little bit more of a relaxed hold. But how you hold your hook is completely up to you. But like I said, the two most common holds are a knife hold, and that can be left or right. Or a pencil hold. Those are the most common ways to hold your hook. So first we are going to have to start with a slip knot. You're going to start most projects with a slip knot or a magic ring. I'm going to show you with the slip knot first because this is just basics. A magic ring is a little bit more advanced and used for other projects that are usually where you need to close off or tighten down. So that's a little bit more of an advanced technique. So I'll show you that more in the future, but we'll start with a slip knot. So usually I start my slip knots in my projects with this technique. I hate to waste, so this is usually how I do it. Because a slip knot has one side that slides and one side that does not. This is how I do it to make sure that I always have the sliding side on the side that's connected to my ball of yarn. I'll take the tail of my yarn and lay it across my fingers, and I'll just hold it like this and wrap it around 2 fingers. Then I cross it. Where it crosses, I just hold it with my thumb. I'll take my hook and slide it between my fingers under the yarn that I just wrapped and grab the loose strand and pull it through. Now I'll hold the loop that I just pulled through and drop the strand that's on my fingers. Now I will hold the tail and the strand that's connected to my ball and just tighten that loop. Now you can do this with your fingers or you can do it with the hook. I'll just slide my hook in there and tighten that down. And notice this is the side that's connected to my ball. So the sliding side, if using this method, make sure that the sliding side is the side that's connected to my ball. That way I'm not left with a unnecessarily long tail, meaning I'm not going to have as much waste. Now I'll show you that again. I just take the tail and just lay it across my fingers. Wrap it around 2 fingers and cross it. Hold it where it crosses. Use my hook. Now this time, drop my fingers. I'll use my hook to pull the loop to tighten it down. And that way I only have a few inches of a tail instead of inches of a tail. So this is what, 3 inches, 3.5 inches? I'm not going to be okay with even having a platform where everybody can say what. Now that's done. Now, almost all your projects are going to start with a slip knot. And now we need to talk about how to hold your yarn. Easiest way to hold your yarn as a beginner is going to be something along these lines. All of our hands work differently, so this might look different for everybody. Palm up. Now notice I still have my yarn on my hook. I come in between my pinky and my ring finger. Let me get my tail out of the way. And around my pinky, over the back of the hand, and over the top of the index finger. Let me show you that again. Palm up between the ring finger and pinky, around the outside of the pinky, and over the back of the hand. And the reason I do this is because the ring finger and the pinky can either close like a scissor on the yarn and create your tension there because you're using your pinky and your ring finger for your tension, or you can fold down your pinky to sandwich the yarn for your tension. Okay? Depending on how well your hands work or how your hands work. And then bringing the yarn over your index finger is your guide. That leaves your thumb and your middle finger to hold your work.
To then get an opinion from somebody who hasn't had this experience in any way. I'm not trying
to let me show you that again.
Good feedback, or say, hey, I've never been in that experience, but I know that when I felt like this, or there's different
all I'm doing is wrapping her around and over the back of the hand.
But I don't know how to tell them in a nice way. I'm working on it. But
or you can do
not immediately get angry. Like, it's hard for me to immediately not go like, hey,
over
man,
the pinky.
I don't care if you're a therapist.
And between the ring finger like this, using the ring finger to squeeze and the pinky down, and over the ring, over the index finger, where the pinky is still sandwiching that yarn. That still leaves your middle finger to hold and your thumb to hold your work, and your index finger to guide your yarn.
They have like knowledge, like prior knowledge, just explain and predict.
Whatever you find to work for you, where your pinky and your ring finger, one or the other or both, can hold the tension of your yarn, your middle finger and your thumb can hold your work, and your index finger is guiding your yarn. A lot of times you will see me working like this, where my yarn actually rides right there in that knuckle, like that. Now, most projects will start with a foundation chain. See the shape of the head of the crochet hook? Most of them are similarly shaped.
What builds trust, right? The more you dialogue, the more consistent of the conversation.
Yeah, for me, if someone told me to do a clay demo, I might try to ground the clay.
And let me show you why.
There was like two ways to do a clay demo. You either like blob them together, or you made like all the arms and all the legs and all the torso.
Because the shape of all the loops that you will make are going to be the same shape. And I'm going to show you in a minute why that's important. So, I am going to be using as many of the proper terms as possible while I'm teaching you, so that when you read a pattern, you understand what the term means when you come across it.
Some demos are small, right?
So,
And then some would like hold
a yarn over,
like
which will be abbreviated
right,
YO,
yeah, that's
is
what
where you bring the yarn over the top of the hook.
they wouldn't let
See
me
how
do
it's
it. I tried
over the top?
my
And this will be the same for right or left-handed. It doesn't matter.
in order to
A yarn under would be where the yarn comes from under the hook. It will be rare and very far and few between that you will use a yarn under. More often than not, it will be yarn over. A hook head is designed the way it is with this cut under, this undercut. You can see it better on the wooden hook. To lock the yarn into the head so you can draw it through your loops easier. So when you yarn over, you want your hook facing down. Remember I said that shape is there for a reason? That's why. Then you turn it up to yarn over. You catch the yarn in the neck and then turn down. Turn up, yarn over, turn down, and draw through. And see how I'm holding my work with my index or my middle finger and my thumb? Yarn over, catch it in the neck, turn your hook down, and draw through. So I am just making a slight rocking motion with my hook.
And now it makes sense. Remember, like they would say a normal or a regular, like a good student, just a standard good student would get.
Your hook will slide through the loops much easier.
Right? Yeah. 3 days.
With it facing down that way.
Right. But you just mentioned something about ways you were making check sheets, or you would see how long it would take, right?
Yeah.
Right? I want to go back to that part.
Now we've just created a chain.
Several years. So I had.
Now I want to show you the parts of a chain.
I totally forgot about that.
On the front of the chain, you've created a V. One chain will be a V.
There's theory meaning study
So
books and like kind of quieter things, right? And
that V is one chain. Now on the back of that same very chain, it has a third part, a third leg, which is that bump.
You're not supposed to talk. You're never supposed to talk. You're not even allowed.
See that bump right there? Right there. So a chain stitch has 3 legs. The 2 that create the V on the front, and the third that creates the bump on the back.
Of clay or something at the end that says overall, and lift it up at the end, it would say like a team has a tendency to know what the other team members are doing and thinking, coordinates their bias that they're with, and it's the whole definition of a team.
Most projects for beginners will start with a foundation chain, and that is how you create your foundation chain.
And when I did that, I started to enjoy cleanup.
Now let me go back to our first board that we had. Remove these hooks. And let's talk about these double crochets that I showed you.
They called it surf backing. As I was surf backing, which means I was upset, I was resenting what I want,
So this is my double crochet.
Instead of just doing it,
Again, that was
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
US double crochet, UK treble crochet with the symbol.
Like Lord of the Flies kind of stuff. Could never finish a cake.
So this is my right-handed double crochet.
And when you were in the ceiling, you had to like
This is my left-handed double crochet. I can crochet left-handed, but I'm not that great at it, as you can see. I was consistent with my tension here, and I was consistent with my tension here, but I got loose on my tension here, and you can tell because my stitches are not the same height because I was much looser here than I was here and here. So that's why it's very important to practice on holding your yarn in a way that's comfortable for you, but yet still has a good grip and consistent on your tension, because your stitches will reflect where your tension is off and not even. Your stitches will show that. And this is what I was talking about, because I have a hard time holding the yarn in a way that gives me consistent tension, and it will reflect in your work. So practice, practice, practice holding your yarn in a way that gives you a good consistent tension, so you don't end up with wonky stitches. And this is why I wanted to make sure I showed you how important it is to practice really hard while you're beginning. Your tension is just as important as your stitch formation, because it will throw off how even your stitches are. And I mentioned in the basics video that if you're having a hard time with holding your tension consistent, something that you could think about, or if your hands are not the greatest, like mine get super tired sometimes from what I do for work, and it makes it a little difficult for me to hold the yarn sometimes. So I have found these nifty little yarn tension rings. So I know somebody has already mentioned that they have bought some for themselves. So I'm going to show you how they work. So you only put them about halfway down your finger. This is the little cat one with the curly tail. So all you do is just take the yarn between and under. Let me show you. Just under and up into the curl. And that's it.
You're right. No, Louis, in my head, that's what I was thinking the whole time. Yeah.
And where you place it on your finger is, and how tight you put it down on your finger, is kind of where it determines how tight your tension is.
Chop it in 10, and then I take that, cut the ends off, arm, leg, and then roll them all. We all did this. Roll them all. How many? I know we all did this. Nobody in the chat or nobody on SPTV can say that they did. How did you make sure? This should be a question. What is the fastest, quickest way to make a human out of clay?
Competition has to be
doing the fastest. No.
So that's the cat one.
I'm pretty quick.
And these are the most common ones that you can find floating around. Here's one of the peacock ones.
That's all they do in the first one.
Anyways,
and how you position it, you just have to kind of play with it a little bit. How you position it is how you kind of. So I gotta turn this one a little bit. There we go. How you position it and how flat you wear it and how tight you put it on is how much it puts tension my 2 balls of yarn are getting tangled up in my box.
Crazy. Sorry.
How much tension it puts on the yarn, but it holds the tension for you.
97, 90. Part of 99? When did you leave again? Sorry. I didn't have 2000. I left 2000.
I think it was September, to be honest.
Are you joking me or no? Or did you
I'm not
leave in
joking.
2000?
It has to do with the events.
Now, if you find that that's getting in the way, just move it out of the way like that.
But
He's like, what's your social security? Now, you can figure it out.
my family,
Right before that.
my family decided that they were gonna celebrate my grandma's birthday, and my grandma's birthday was in September, and they had asked me specifically, no, stop crying, through.
There you go. And that's how those work.
Nothing.
So if you find
Crying.
you're having a hard time holding your yarn consistent
But never went back.
on your own,
No, I didn't went back.
there are plenty of tools out there
That hurt.
that you can try. And this is actually a ring
From Sandy Powell.
that I wear all the time that is a
Using lug out.
guide ring
Did someone make me fingerless?
and a yarn tension ring in and of itself, but I wear it all the time.
I think she had a little too much glass of wine that day, but she already had. So answer the question.
I got them at a store, and they gym. So I put them on, and I was like, I'm gonna wear these at the party.
Okay, you're so cool. Yes, welcome to the party. Get at a party.
All right.
Because I want Sandy to see them. I would love to.
So that's how yarn tension rings work.
Yeah, so that she can send you a pair out of goldenrod ones that are just like that. There you go.
So if you need a little bit of assistance with tension and you're having a hard time, or your hands, you've had a hand injury, or you have a physically demanding job like I do, I've talked about different handles. These are actually some of my favorites right here. These are my favorites. Same size.
TS for Life at 9:47 says, question, can all of you discuss
These two are my favorite
that has helped you?
handle styles right here. I love them.
What psychology tells us?
Nice big fat round. I love the grooves because I can just fit my fingers right into them when my hands are really hurting. This one's flat, so when I'm doing a lot of working and my hands aren't tired, they just need something to grip a little bit better. This is rubberized.
I think
So, but these are my favorite right here. This is wood. This is plastic with a rubberized covering. These are my favorites. And then when my hands are really tired, these little tension rings really come in handy. So I know if somebody is got limited motion, arthritis, hand injury or something, these little gadgets could really be helpful for somebody who wants to continue in the craft, or, you know, wants to start in the craft. These, and like I said, they sell these, but I made this one. It's just stainless steel wire. But I know there are a couple of sellers that sell this style online on Amazon. So that's how these work. So I hope that helps, and we'll be back with an individual video for each of the basic stitches, but this is getting started. So thanks for joining me.